In the sweltering heat of a Houston summer in 1965, a gruesome discovery shocked the city. On June 23, police officers responding to a welfare check entered the modest home of Fred and Edwina Rogers. What they found would haunt investigators for decades. Inside the refrigerator, neatly stacked and wrapped in butcher paper, were the dismembered remains of the elderly couple. Their heads were found in the vegetable crisper, and their organs had been flushed down the toilet. The scene was meticulously cleaned, leaving little forensic evidence behind. The primary suspect was their reclusive son, Charles Rogers, a 43-year-old geophysicist who lived with them. Charles was nowhere to be found, and despite an extensive manhunt, he vanished without a trace. His disappearance only deepened the mystery. Investigators uncovered that Charles was a highly intelligent man, fluent in 7 languages, and had a background in the Navy. He was also known to be a loner, communicating with his parents by slipping notes under the door. Neighbors rarely saw him, and some even questioned if he truly lived there. Over the years, numerous theories emerged. Some speculated that Charles had fled to South America, while others believed he was involved in espionage activities during the Cold War. One of the most sensational theories linked him to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, suggesting he was one of the 3 tramps photographed near Dealey Plaza. Despite these theories, no concrete evidence has ever surfaced to confirm Charles's whereabouts or his involvement in his parents' murders. In 1975, he was declared legally dead in absentia, but the case remains unsolved. The Icebox murders continue to captivate true crime enthusiasts and investigators alike. The combination of a gruesome crime scene, a missing suspect, and a web of conspiracy theories has solidified its place in American criminal lore. In the aftermath of the gruesome discovery of Fred and Edwina Rogers' dismembered bodies in their Houston home, the investigation took a complex turn. The primary suspect, their son Charles Rogers, had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a trail of questions in a community gripped by fear and speculation. Charles Rogers was no ordinary individual. A reclusive man, he was known to communicate with his parents only through notes slipped under his bedroom door. His background was equally enigmatic: an accomplished seismologist, fluent in multiple languages, and a former Navy pilot with ties to the Office of Naval Intelligence. His sudden resignation from Shell Oil in 1957 and subsequent withdrawal from public life only deepened the mystery. As investigators delved into Charles's past, they uncovered a web of theories attempting to explain his disappearance and possible motives. One theory suggested that Charles had been subjected to years of emotional and financial abuse by his parents. Reports indicated that Fred and Edwina had been forging Charles's signature to take out loans against his property, effectively swindling him out of his assets. This betrayal may have been the catalyst for a meticulously planned act of revenge. Adding another layer to the mystery were claims linking Charles to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Authors John R. Craig and Philip A. Rogers posited that Charles was a CIA operative involved in the assassination plot. According to their theory, when his parents discovered his secret, he eliminated them to protect himself. While intriguing, this theory lacked concrete evidence and was met with skepticism by many. Despite extensive searches, Charles Rogers was never found. In 1975, a decade after the murders, he was declared legally dead in absentia. However, the case remained open, with law enforcement and amateur sleuths alike continuing to seek answers. In the years that followed, the Icebox murders became a subject of fascination for true crime enthusiasts. Books, podcasts, and documentaries explored the case, each offering new interpretations and insights. Yet the central question persisted: what truly happened to Charles Rogers? In the aftermath of the gruesome discovery at 1815 Driscoll Street, the city of Houston was left reeling. The meticulous nature of the crime scene suggested a calculated mind at work. Investigators found the Rogers home eerily clean, with minimal blood evidence indicating that the perpetrator had taken great care in covering their tracks. The only significant clue was a trail of blood leading to Charles Rogers' attic bedroom, where a blood-stained keyhole saw was discovered, but Charles himself was nowhere to be found. Charles Rogers, a 43-year-old reclusive geophysicist, had a background that intrigued investigators. Fluent in multiple languages and possessing a pilot's license from his time in the Navy, Charles was known to be highly intelligent and resourceful. Neighbors described him as a ghostly presence, rarely seen and communicating with his parents only through notes slipped under the door. His sudden disappearance added a layer of complexity to the case. As the manhunt intensified, various theories about Charles's whereabouts emerged. Some believed he had fled to Mexico, utilizing his connections in the oil and mining industries to secure work and a new identity. Others speculated that he had perished shortly after the murders, his body hidden or lost to time. Despite extensive searches and international alerts, no concrete evidence surfaced to confirm any of these theories. The mystery deepened with the publication of the Icebox murders by Hugh and Martha Gardenier, who posited that Charles had been subjected to years of abuse and financial exploitation by his parents. They theorized that this long-standing mistreatment culminated in a meticulously planned act of revenge, after which Charles vanished into the shadows, possibly meeting his own demise in Central America. Adding fuel to the fire were claims linking Charles to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Some authors suggested that Charles had been involved with the CIA and had participated in covert operations, including the assassination plot. According to these theories, Fred and Edwina Rogers discovered incriminating information about their son's activities, leading to their murders. However, these claims remain speculative, lacking concrete evidence. The house on Driscoll Street, once the scene of a horrific crime, was eventually demolished, erasing the physical reminder of the tragedy. Yet the questions linger. What drove Charles Rogers to commit such a heinous act? Where did he go, and how did he manage to elude capture? The Icebox murders remain one of Houston's most perplexing cold cases, a chilling tale of family secrets, betrayal, and a man who vanished without a trace.